This week, all eyes are on Augusta National, the prestigious club in Georgia that's hosted golf's preeminent major since 1934. And it is lit. It is homecoming for the 1%. White-collar all-star weekend. Rich folk Freaknik. And you know what goes on at Freaknik?
Law enforcement targets events like the Masters for increased sex trafficking activity.
We've seen that there's a spike in these types of activities during these special events. People come to these events to have a good time. And some people's definition of a good time differs from what the law's idea of a good time is.
He just couldn't figure out how to say that. But hey, man, maybe those fans think those green jackets are a tribute to the Bishop Don Magic Wand. The green is for the money. The gold is for the honey. But to put it simply, the Masters is a flex of power and control. And despite everything I suspect about the people behind the Masters, they give us the most perfect week in sports. And I love it. Every year, I eat that shit up like those turkeys Nino Brown gave away at Thanksgiving. Behold Augusta National. Look at that shit. The water just glistening. The flowers blooming in Technicolor. Grass look like they put bonnets on it every night to keep it intact. Fairway wake up in the morning like...
Yes. Ooh, stiff what? For real, stiff what?
Put them fairways on the cover of a Just For Me box. In 1986, Jim Nantz came up with the perfect description for the Masters.
A tradition unlike any other.
A tradition unlike any other.
A tradition unlike any other.
Just like Jim Nantz says.
This tradition unlike any other.
It's a tradition unlike any other with the voice of Jim Nantz.
Welcome back to Butler Cabin and this tradition unlike any other.
Dude, he just sounds like money. That man been 62 since he was 25. Now, Augusta National completely controls their image, which includes trademarking everything. The green jackets, trademarked. The famous pimento cheese sandwiches they sell for $1.50, trademarked. You know damn well they trademarked this.
This tradition unlike any other.
Now look, I ain't no snitch, but I don't think everybody got the memo on that one.
It's a tradition unlike any other. Hockey fans in Nashville throwing catfish on the ice.
It's a tradition unlike any other. It's No Pants Day in San Francisco.
It's a tradition unlike any other. Yes, it's that time of the year again. Time for some ritual Indian baby tossing.
That's more like a Michael Jackson tradition like no other. Baby's built different over there. By the way, the Masters branding, it's a beast. They sell the official gear exclusively on location for only the week of the tournament. It's like a Supreme Burberry pop-up for middle-aged white dudes.
Michael Boy and his buddies have made their second trip to the pro shop this week.
When we first got here, we did the opening ceremony, went into the store, spent 2 hours shopping.
I got hats, shirts, jackets.
The number one thing I wanted to get is my flag here. I'm going to put a big 3-foot poster in my man cave with this.
Anything that has that Masters logo, when you see it, you know where it's from, you know it's an invite-only party, and you want to be a piece of it.
Yeah, I know a hype beast when I see one. Now, during the Masters, they call the customers patrons, because calling them peasants is tacky. The members of the club put on their green jackets and give directions around the facilities, like filthy rich hall monitors. They even control how you celebrate, golfers included. These are the words of Augusta's co-founder, golf legend Bomani Jones. It is appropriate for spectators to applaud. Man, we ain't reading all that shit. They got more rules than Big Mama's den with the plastic on the couch. Even the words coming out of the mouths of broadcasters are restricted. This is Gary McCord in 1994.
These greens are absolutely just like glass. I don't think they cut them out here. I think they use bikini wax on them.
But he never worked the Masters again. They grabbed him by the roots and yanked his ass out of Amen Corner. He was messing up the brand. And a brand like that has to be flawless to keep us from thinking about all that tradition Jim Nantz is talking about. But hey, in fairness, is Masters history that much different than American history. Classism, check. Sexism, check. Racism, check. Add a little genocide and the Masters completes the set. At least on the racism front, there's bad news and good news. Bad news. The co-founder of the club, Clifford Roberts, is famously believed to have said, as long as I'm alive, all the golfers will be white and all the caddies will be black. Good news. He shot himself on the par 3 course in 1977. And then finally, we got some progress. Look, whatever you think about their legacy at Augusta, it doesn't really matter. They so rich, they do what rich people never do. They actually turn money down.
Augusta National, they have no interest in making money.
They don't sell that many tickets. The crowd is a little bit more highbrow.
They only allow 4 minutes of commercials to be run per hour. You'd think they'd make a buck off concessions. No. Check out these prices, less than $3 for a beer.
Yeah, for those scoring at home, those are all Darren Ravel, and no, that's not a real Masters jacket. By the way, they don't even need CBS. CBS needs them. In 1965, your boy, Cliff All Black Caddies Roberts, told America on live TV that the next Masters would be broadcast in color. Not with color, not for color, in color. But here's the thing. He hadn't bothered to tell anybody at CBS. CBS executives were at home just begging for a crossover promo like, the only grass greener than our fairways is on Green Acres, Wednesday at 9. Now, how do you score tickets to the Masters? It's kind of like the sneakers app. Fans play a lottery for the privilege of buying single-day tickets.
We waited 10 years to win the lottery.
About 25 or 30 times.
I was in a lottery for 24 years.
It's the hardest ticket in sports.
And they're not even price gouging. The haves and the have-nots alike find the prices affordable. And that's the Masters' way of saying that just because you got enough money to buy a ticket doesn't mean you can tell us what to do. It's manufacturing exclusivity. Why do you think black people across the world stayed up to watch Meghan Markle join one of the most racist institutions on the planet? Because we want to be part of some exclusive shit, too. I mean, marrying into the royal family, that's hard. But getting a membership at Augusta, there's no application. Your highest reference don't mean shit to them. They just let you know.
Augusta National is so secretive it won't reveal the names of its members or even how many of them there are. Reportedly, there are 300, all by invitation only.
All issues of membership are now and have been historically subject to the private deliberations of the members.
Yeah, and you better not say you want to be a member, because they think that's tasteless. Bill Gates had his people deny he wanted an invite. And then eventually he ended up getting in. Oh, passive-aggressive motherfucker. The club is so exclusive, even winning the Masters won't guarantee membership. Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer are the only 2 Masters winners to have gotten in. Tiger Woods? Man, Augusta treats Tiger like Cinderella. He can have fun in that jacket until the clock strikes midnight, and then everybody at the party asks him to bring their cars around. But see, here's the thing. He may not have a membership, but he's got their attention. That's why they tried so hard to humble him. Tiger destroyed the course in 1997 and had the nerve to say it wasn't that hard. Look what happened next.
After Tiger Woods owned Augusta over a decade ago, they had to tiger-proof it.
He won by 12 shots. They tiger-proofed the course. Many say that Augusta has been tiger-proofed.
Yeah, they've lengthened it and added some trees that Tiger used to hit it over.
Tiger-proofing. Sound like what Siegfried and Roy forgot to do that one night. You know you've gone too far when they don't laugh that hard and then feel like they got to clap. The Wall Street Journal figured out Augusta has spent about $200 million buying up properties around the club, all so they could have more control. Now, see, look here. This is Augusta National, the only sign of life in a concrete desert. Look at the rest of the neighborhood. looking like Kevin Durant's leg. Hey, Augusta, put some lotion on your city, man. But why? Why are the richest, most powerful people, most impervious people trying to impress us? At the end of the day, the Masters is a public relations effort. Because deep down, the 1% want us to love them, even if we don't know who the fuck they are. And I can't even knock it because it works.
When you're coming up the road to the club,
Magnolia Lane.
Oh my God, it's just incredible.
There's so many people I knew who loved golf and idolized golf, what they would pay to be in that position.
First time I played it, it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done.
Why?
Just because of what it is.
When people say, Tom, what's the city of Augusta like? What do you tell them?
I feel good.
James Brown.
Hit me! See, somebody knows the Godfather of Soul is from Augusta, too. But for 7 days a year, they let us feel like we're part of the club. Then at sunset on Sunday, if you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. But they need to appease us, because there's more of us than them. And who you think is first up against the wall come the revolution? The Masters and everything they represent.
You better talk your shit.
Damn right. But this is why we can allow ourselves to watch the Masters year after year, because the flex is a front. They make the course look just like heaven because they know they're headed straight to hell. The Masters is just Subway selling pimento cheese sandwiches after the Jared scandal. Keep the sandwiches approximately a foot long, and we'll pretend you don't disgust us. And the Masters isn't alone in this. In February, Live Golf Investments announced the new Saudi Arabian-backed golf league fronted by Greg Norman. And just like the shark, Phil Mickelson blew it at the end. Said the quiet part out loud about his benefactors.
They're scary blanks to get involved with. We know they killed Khashoggi, referring to the Washington Post reporter, and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all this, why would I even consider it? Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates.
So, you can see why Phil won't be at the Masters this week. But his mistake was starting with the bad shit. All he had to do was take all that dirty oil money, shut up, stage the perfect tournament, and not let people know that the Saudis have some things in common with the people behind the Masters through history. But Phil Mickelson's no Jim Nance, and that's why the Saudis and the Masters told Phil the exact same thing. Don't shut your ass up. Now, most of us are never going to see the incredible production that is the Masters. So at Game Theory, we got our own flex, and we throwing our own tournament on the dirty, shady streets of New York City. And unlike Augusta, everybody's invited. May we present to you the Street Masters.